Eh, what's up, Doc? I'm here to tell you about the scary story that formidable robot encountered. Alright, I'm sure you guys have of my encounter with the Lost SpongeBob episode, that being the lost internship recreation of SpongeBob You're Fired. Trust me, that episode scared the living crap out of me. But oh boy, this next episode you're about to hear is more messed up than the last. I was outside my dad's metal detector trying to find something valuable. However, when I hovered it next to the gazebo, the metal detector beeped like crazy. I quickly grabbed a shovel and drug it out the cardboard box. And then I took the box into my room and opened it, and what was inside it? A SpongeBob cover that consists of SpongeBob and Patrick in front of the SpongeBob's house looking at the viewers. It was titled Lost Episode. Oh man, I hope this lost episode won't be scary like the last one, I told myself as I inserted the disc into the DVD player. Then I went downstairs and I made some popcorn, grabbed a soda, and went upstairs to ready to watch this DVD. The DVD started with a Nickelodeon Fish ident from 2002. However, it was so scary, that demonic, and I almost screamed. That fish was red instead of orange. Its eye was bloodshot, and his mouth was dark blood red. There were scars and scratches on the fish's which were which were dark blood red and had blood dripping down on them. And when a fish got towards the screen, there was a loud sound of rusty metal scraping against metal. What the frick? I told myself in fear. Then the Paramount DVD logo played. However, it was so scary and messed up. The text wasn't visible, and so were the stars forming a circle around the mountain and the disc. And the whole background and the mountain were in shade of dark red. Also, some text in a Paramount font in the shade of a red and dark red said, "We are warning you. Do not watch this DVD. You will regret it." I found that text can to be extremely gruesome and scary, to be exact. And then took me to the menu. The menu was nice to look at. It had consisted of SpongeBob and Patrick playing on the conch shells in a half yellow, half pink background. The background music was instrumental of the theme song. On the top left corner, the screen was the logo. Under the logo was the text that said Lost Episode. On the right of the screen, there were four options: play episode, visit Nickelodeon, bonus features, and meet the staff. I clicked on play episode and ready to watch this episode. However, before the episode began, there was a warning. Warning! This episode was made back in October of 2002 for release of The Ring, and also contains some gruesome scenes, violence, mature language, and sudden sounds that may not be suitable for young audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Ah, man, I said disappointed. Here I go again. The episode started with the regular intro. However, when it got end of the intro, SpongeBob didn't play his nose like a flute. Instead, he started at the screen with a short but sinister smile. Then a title card came up. The title card was in a red background, which was blackened down a lot, and background was text that read out, "SpongeBob can't take it." In the red outline of the dark red, which can't he take anymore? I told myself. Also, the happy-go-lucky music played in the background. Then the credits played, and then the bubble transition played, and it cut to SpongeBob's house while the sun is rising. And then cut to SpongeBob, and then cut to the inside SpongeBob's bedroom once as SpongeBob and Gary were sleeping. It then cut to SpongeBob's foghorn alarm clock as it went off. After his foghorn clock stopped, SpongeBob jumped out of the bed with a large "Hooray!" He then ran to Gary and said, "Today is my big play date with Patrick, and we are going to do so many fun things," SpongeBob cheered. And he then did his morning routine of brushing his teeth, getting dressed, eating kelpos, and then walking out his door on his way to Patrick's rock. He hummed his theme song while walking for 4 seconds until he got to Patrick's rock. He then knocked on the rock and said in a polite voice, "Oh, Patrick, are you home?" After that, the rock opened up and showed up Patrick hanging on his rock and replying with, "You bet you I am." SpongeBob then says, "Okay, then let the play date begin." As they both cheered, the bubble transitions then played again as it showed a montage of SpongeBob and Patrick playing together. They ate Krabby Patties at the Krusty Krab, went to Goofy Goobers and ate ice cream, rode rides in Glove World, and finally went to jellyfishing. But the scene when jellyfishing was messed up. The scene was normal for about 6 minutes, but then, while SpongeBob was jellyfishing, a big crash sound was heard off screen. What was that? SpongeBob said concerned. Then all of a sudden, Patrick runs to SpongeBob with a sad expression. He was also crying. "Patrick, what's the matter?" SpongeBob asked his best friend. "My net broke," Patrick said, sobbing. "Oh man, I am very sorry, Patrick. Maybe be a little more careful about next time you use a jellyfishing net," SpongeBob said to Patrick. SpongeBob, is it okay if I use your net?" Patrick politely asked. "SpongeBob, of course, buddy," Sponge said happily. Patrick's mood immediately brightened up as he began playing with SpongeBob's net. This went on for a strong 5 minutes. I was about to eject the disc when suddenly scene changed. SpongeBob walked up to Patrick, who then stopped playing with the net and said, Patrick, can I have my net back?" In which Patrick replies, "Can I just have 5 more minutes, please?" SpongeBob then replies with, "Okay, fine, Patrick." In which Patrick continues playing and then cuts to the time card saying 25 minutes later. And then the episode took a turn for the worst. SpongeBob was extremely annoyed. He then walks to Patrick and says, Patrick, it's been 40 minutes. Give him my net back." In which Patrick replies, "No, this is my net. In fact, I'm going to keep it." Then the episode went dark as fast as SpongeBob yells at Patrick and his voice fades to a demonic effect. "Patrick, I said give me the damn net." I was shocked at what he said. They never said damn in the show before. Then the camera zooms into SpongeBob, and oh god, he looked berserk. He was all moldy, his eyes were hollow black with red pupils, and the eyes were drops of blood under his eyes. Patrick screamed, but it shouted like his voice actor Bill Fagerback had lost his crap. He then got worried and said, "SpongeBob, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to Sandy?" Then SpongeBob then replies to Patrick in a defining voice, "Just some fun. After I kill you, I will come for Sandy." And then he pushes Patrick off the giant cliff. Patrick begins screaming as he falls into his demise. When Patrick hit the ground, his spine broke. Patrick begins howling in pain as he tries to get up, but he can't. SpongeBob then walks up to Patrick and says, "All right, Patrick, time to say bye-bye to your life. Other than that, as he begins to kill Patrick. First, he saws off Patrick's leg with a buzzsaw and a handsaw. And then he burns his arms off with a flamethrower and a lighter. While all of this was happening, Patrick was screaming like crazy and super loudly. SpongeBob then says to Patrick in a demonic voice, "All right, Patrick, time to end your operation." SpongeBob said it as he pulls out an axe. SpongeBob begins begging, "No, SpongeBob, don't do this, we're just friends. No, no, no," Patrick shouted. SpongeBob then said in a demonic voice, "Nice try, Patrick, but I have no friends, just victims." SpongeBob then whipped with a switch slash off at Patrick's head with an axe. The head then flew off in the sky and then plopped down onto the ground. SpongeBob then says, "Well then, I guess that's over with." Then turns to the viewers and said, "Do you see what I mean, everyone? This is why bringing back the dead is against the rules. So the lesson here for today is to never ever bring back what's dead. 'Cause if you do, I will come for you right now, and I am after Sandy. So the second lesson here for the next time to stay out of my way. See you later, folks. Then SpongeBob walks off screen laughing maniacally. Then the screen cuts to black, only to cut to the credits. However, the credits song was distorted and reversed, and the was background was darker, and the text was blood red. Then United Plankton Pictures logo was, however, however, the little sea creatures were yellow, the background was red, and the text was pink. Then then Nickelodeon logo played as it also different. The SpongeBob was in the shape of the splat was in the shape of SpongeBob, and under it was text to read out Patrick Esther Mortal, White to Proximo. Translated I translated it said, Patrick is dead, and you're next. After that, screen comes to black for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, my god, it scared me for life. SpongeBob's face popped out the screen. His eyes were black with no pupils, and there was blood dripping down his eyes. Along with that, SpongeBob's laugh was heard in the background, but it was slower, louder, distorted, and had demonic effect added to it. I screamed intense for the intensity of the jump scare. After the jump scare ended, it took me back to the menu. I was extremely shocked at what I saw. I immediately showed them the footage, and they were shocked. I managed to grab a few screenshots of the episode before my mom burned the DVD. After that, I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks because I had living nightmares about the SpongeBob. The next day, I decided to contact Nickelodeon about the episode, and they said, Dear Jump Annie, yes, that's my name. We are very sorry for what you saw, but listen, one time we had an employee who was a secretly psychopath. One midnight and around 12:50 a.m., he snuck into our studio and made this episode and aired it. The next day, we received emails and calls from angry parents saying the children were traumatized about the SpongeBob episode. We then found out it was our employee whose name was Clemmy Brown. We then fired him from our staff. We apologize for your experience. Sincerely, the Nickelodeon staff. I replied with a thank you after that. The episode still traumatizes me this day, and I can't stop thinking about it. Please, if you ever find a DVD that has never been released nor found, do not watch it. And also, thanks for listening to my story. Also, this is Bugs Bunny and saying, that's all, folks.